Hello, everybody. It's the Worm back for some more VLR. Last time was a bit of a shorter episode. Once again, sorry for that. I'm not gonna rehash the whole thing. I think I said it at the end and also wrote it in the description. But I will say I am recording at a much more reasonable hour than last time. So I should be more aware and following along with what's going on and not half asleep the entire time. Okay. So, what happened last time? Well, not much. We did find out that apparently the treatment pods were in use, and I think it was something like 8 hours ago they were opened up. I believe it was said that the way the timing was described on those screens was such that we don't actually know what time it is. We just know how many hours ago it was when they were last used. So we know that at least 3 people were in those treatment pods and were taken out of them a bit or around 8 hours ago. Who those 3 people are? Not sure. Don't know. If I had to... Let's just try to take a wild guess here. We know those treatment pods halt the effects of Radical 6. What if the people that were in those pods to begin with were the people that we know have Radical 6 right now? So maybe Quark, Alice, and maybe Sigma? The Sigma thing is still weird because he had that weird slowdown effect, but he's also a robot, so I don't know what the deal is with that just yet, but that's just my random guess. There may have been hints before that about, who might be a pod person and not, but I do not recall that, if there have been any or not. And now we are at the AB game, and our match is up against Quark, of course, and I believe I've just voted ally, so, which is, not unexpected from me. So let's see what happens, shall we?
Results will be displayed in the warehouse. Thank you for your participation. Ambidex gates now opening.
What did you choose, Sigma?
You didn't see me push the button?
No.
Huh. Well, you'll know in a moment. Oh, also, yeah, one thing that did happen was, didn't Clover wanted us to betray Quark? Just because, he would have absolutely gone with Ally because, he was in the treatment pod. And once again, it shows that Tenmyoji is he's a bit too trusting of Clover. So even though he seems to know Clover from, I presume, he knows about her involvement in the previous 999 game. Nonary game, not 999 game. Nonary game. He seems to put a bit too much faith in her. So that's another example of that. Let's go. I gave her a light pat on the shoulder and headed toward the wall where the results would be displayed.
Results from round 2 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please direct your attention to the results screen.
My memory's a bit foggy. Let's see what these scores are. Yeah. 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 Okay. Nothing actually surprising here. I guess maybe if, you know, if you have a more cutthroat impression of Fi, maybe her going with Ally may seem a bit maybe a bit surprising. Tenmyoji stayed behind with Quark, right? So it was just Luna and Fi. Luna obviously advocated for Ally, but I mean, if Fi really wanted to, I wouldn't be surprised if she could overpower her or something. But no, they went with Ally. So yeah, no nines. That was very obvious. Okay. Yeah, no real surprises for me.
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
So you chose Ally, huh?
Yeah. Quark is sick, a kid, and unable to vote. I couldn't bring myself to betray someone like that.
Thank you.
No need to thank me. I only did what anyone would have. Maybe I'm misremembering the, Give me 1 second. Okay. Sorry about that. I needed to check something real quick. Okay. So I think I got my timelines mixed up. So Clover, yeah, this must be the result of my half asleep state of mind at the time. So Clover she would have been more eager to betray Quark, but Tenmyoji had a conversation with her in which he seems to have revealed the reason why he has so much trust in her, and that changed her mind. So there you go. You know, Clover would normally be okay with betrayal in certain circumstances, but when she's told by Tenmyoji about what he knows, she changes her tune. Okay. Good to get that straightened out. I was a bit off base there for a little while. So you guys chose Ally too, huh?
Of course. Tenmyoji had only one BP left, and he was guaranteed to vote Ally, so there's no way we could betray somebody in that position. If we had, then he'd...
Yeah. He didn't have much choice. Alice, Kay, and Dio, on the other hand, seemed to have a less pleasant round.
Hey, what the hell is your problem? You're either crazy or just an asshole. Were you trying to kill me?
No, nothing like that.
That's pretty weak, Dio.
Well then, what was it like? If we'd voted Ally,
You would be dead. The needles in your bracelet would have activated, killing you.
See? That's exactly what I'm talking about. I didn't think there was any way in hell you guys would choose Ally, not with Alice's BP at 1. The only way you could possibly vote was betray. Picking Ally when I knew you guys would pick betray would have been suicide.
I mean, that's not... I mean, there is a logic there. I can see that.
you can't die. You've got 6 BP.
But then there's also that point, yes.
Well, maybe not immediately, no. But I would have been signing my own death warrant. Heck, not just mine. Everyone except Kay's.
What?
Didn't you think it through?
Or there's also that, too. Yes, okay.
Your vote was always gonna be betray. Let's say I was a raving lunatic and picked Ally. What would happen to Kay's BP?
6 plus 3 would make 9.
See? Then it'd be game over.
And we have seen... I mean, this is with the benefit of our timeline hopping here. But we have seen, definitely once, and I think maybe twice, actually. Yes, I think twice at this point. When Kay's gotten to 9, he will leave. He will just, sayonara. He's out of here.
life over. He'd open the number 9 door and blow this popsicle stand.
Exactly.
And that'd leave us twisting in the wind, living out the rest of our miserable lives stuck in this place.
Well, Dio, I don't like you, but I can't say you're wrong here.
You see, that's why I chose Betray. I did it to save all our necks, including yours.
Alice gritted her teeth and scowled fiercely at Dio, apparently trying to think of a rebuttal, before finally snorting indignantly and stalking away. Shortly thereafter, the warehouse was filled with the rumbling sound of the doors sliding shut.
The Ambidex gates have closed. Round 3 of the Ambidex game will be the Star Round. Star keys are required to open the gates.
Now, Alice should be getting taken out of commission around now, right?
There is no set limit on usage of the Star keys. The Ambidex gates can be opened as many times as the players wish to open them.
As many times as we want, huh? Then that means...
We can play the AB game as many times as we want, right?
Hey, didn't Zero Jr. say something about this?
As soon as the gates close, your colors get all shuffled up automatically. The pair and solo assignments hop around a bit too.
Yeah, he did. Can you guys all show me your bracelets? I want to see what all our colors and groups are this time. Within moments, a series of wrists were extended for me to examine. Oh, that's interesting. Usually they just breeze through them. Red, blue, blue, green, violet, violet, blue. I see. Luna and Clover are a cyan pair. Oh, excuse me, not violet, magenta. And Phi and Alice are a magenta pair. I heard a thing recently, I was listening to a video, and I think it said, is it magenta or pink that doesn't actually exist, or something like that? Because our eyes only see 3 primary colors, and I'd also talked about wavelength, and I think it said violet was a real color, but pink and or magenta was not. And it's supposed to be... It's something like the absence of green or something like that. I don't know. I'd have to watch it again and, I don't know, take notes to properly explain what I saw or heard. But, I don't know. That's not really related to anything we're talking about. It's just something interesting I heard recently. The remaining 3 are all solos. Kay is red, Dio is green, and I'm blue. So how are the groups supposed to work for the next round? I think the next doors are going to be those white ones down on the floor B warehouse.
Yeah, I heard about those. Alice told me about them while we were here waiting for you and Clover. I think I've got them figured out.
Yeah? So lay it out for us. How are the groups going to shake out this time? Phi nodded and began to explain. Option A, Tenmyoji and Quark Yellow pair up with me, Blue, to open one door. Phi and Alice Magenta pair up with Dio Green to open another door. Luna and Clover Cyan pair up with Kay Red to open the last one.
Oh? Is there only one option?
Yes, no other combinations would be able to open the secondary doors. Admittedly, Tenmyoji and Quark aren't here for us to check, but I'm sure they're the yellow pair. If they weren't, then Sigma would be stuck without anybody he could pair up with.
Oh God, I never thought I'd have to put up with Dio again.
Well, you just didn't think hard enough then. Sooner or later, everybody puts up with Dio. Wait.
Good one, Dio.
So, what should we do now? It looks like we have a lot of time until the primary doors open.
Yeah. About 80 minutes.
I'm worried about Quark's condition. Those pods can't cure Radical 6. He still needs help.
Well, we don't have anything to lose. So we might as well look for that medicine. Clover, right?
Yeah. What about the rest of you?
Oh, I'll help.
As will I.
Me too.
Fine. I guess I can help.
What about you, Sigma?
Of course I'll help. What kind of jerk wouldn't?
Okay. We should split up and search.
After some discussion, Dio and Kay were assigned to the pantry, Luna and Alice to the treatment center, and Cloverfi and myself to the pressure exchange chamber.
Shall we regroup in the Floor B warehouse 10 minutes before the doors open?
We all nodded. Kay turned to Alice and Luna.
You are going to the treatment center, correct?
Yes.
Then please remember to tell Tenmyoji where we intend to meet and when.
Okay.
You must also remember to bring Quark with you. I am concerned about removing him from the pod, but it can't be helped. Without Quark's bracelet, Sigma and Tenmyoji will be unable to open the secondary door.
Right.
Good. Looks like we got all that straightened out. Let's go.
With a final nod to one another, we split up, each team heading in a different direction. So, this is the pressure exchange chamber.
No, this is the prep room. There are 2 levels. The actual pressure exchange chamber is downstairs.
How do you know that?
Alice told me. She was one of the people who investigated this room.
Did you talk to her when you were waiting for us back in the warehouse?
Yeah.
Well, let's head downstairs then.
Good idea.
So, this is the real thing.
Seems like it.
Why do they have something like this here?
Well, this is just what Alice told me, but
Apparently, the pressure inside the facility was a lot higher than the pressure outside. That was part of a system designed to keep the virus from getting in. It did mean, however, that we'd need to go through a decompression process in order to get outside.
remember all those suits along the wall of the prep room? Those keep you from getting infected. We won't even be able to enter the pressure exchange chamber if we don't have them on.
I see. Whoa, 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 whoa. Then that newspaper article was right?
Unfortunately, that seems pretty likely.
So, the air out there is teeming with Radical 6.
Yeah.
Something's been bothering me.
What is it?
Aren't you saying that if we put on those suits, we can go into the pressure exchange chamber and go outside, right?
Oh. No, we can't do that. The door beyond the pressure exchange chamber is locked up tight.
Damn it. Just one door between us and freedom.
Well, if you look at it that way, it's the same as the number 9 door.
Okay, yeah, but...
Whatever. We need to be focusing on finding that Clover. Quark needs it.
Yeah, you're right.
I'll go look around upstairs. You two take this floor, all right?
Got it.
Okay.
We looked everywhere we could think of, but turned up nothing. Eventually, I couldn't keep my mouth shut any longer. Hey, what do you think the deal is with this stuff about the world being infested with some crazy virus? A pandemic seems like it would make the news, but I don't remember hearing anything. Wait a minute. You mentioned it, didn't you? Back when Dio was asking questions. We were in the infirmary. It was right after Quark lost it.
Have any of you guys heard anything about any sort of viral pandemic?
Well, no, but...
And then Alice said,
I have heard rumors about a virus being used as a bioweapon.
So, what's the rumor she was talking about? I got the feeling you and Alice were talking about the same thing. Clover, what do you know? What are you and Alice, anyway? I heard you guys belong to some sort of organization, but what is it? Clover was quiet for a long time. She bit her thumbnail and looked down at the floor. And finally, she lifted her head and met my eyes.
Fine, I think I can trust you. Just don't tell Alice, okay?
All right.
Promise?
Promise. Clover nodded and began to talk. I listened with rapt attention, at a complete loss for words. Here is what she said. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're getting the whole thing, really. This is... Huh. Well, I mean, Clover seemed alright with sharing with us, about her past in the previous nonary game, so certainly of the two, I would expect it would be her to blab about this first, so fair enough. Okay, let's do this. Alice and I are agents of the SOIS. The SOIS, which is under the jurisdiction of the Department of Defense. SOIS stands for Special Office of Internal Security, and we're an elite intelligence division that investigates potentially disruptive or dangerous elements, such as domestic or foreign terrorists, radical political splinter groups, and religious organizations with extreme agendas that could pose a threat to the state or citizenry. Our existence hasn't been made public, so there are only a few people who even know we exist. You're probably wondering how I even got involved in something like that, huh? Well, it started when I met Alice. I told you that I've played a nonary game twice before, right? Well, this was after the second time, so about a year ago. We'd just escaped, and we were all stuffed into the SUV barreling across the desert. I was driving, and that's when I saw her. This scene made me so happy. After all the craziness that just happened, this was just the final piece that put me over the edge. Alice. She was standing next to the road with her thumb out. She was already working for the SOIS, and she'd been on her way to the building we'd been trapped in as part of her investigation. But on the way there, her car had broken down. We offered to give her a ride, of course. After she got in, we started talking, and it turned out that Alice had gotten a tip that the terrorists she was after were in the building we'd been trapped in. We couldn't see how us playing the nonary game had anything to do with terrorists. But Alice had a suggestion. Maybe the two people who trapped you in there are the terrorists. That didn't seem very likely to us, but we were chasing after them anyway, so we decided to bring Alice with us. Unfortunately, we didn't find them. As far as we know, they're still out there now, on the run. Anyway, we were taken back to the SOIS headquarters and put into custody. I guess they thought there had to be some kind of connection between us being kidnapped and the terrorist group they were investigating. But they must not have found anything, because after a few days of questioning, they let us go. We all went home and returned to our lives. But things didn't go back to the way they'd been. My mom got real worried about me, and my brother... My mom got real worried about me and my brother, since we'd gotten kidnapped twice now. So she hired bodyguards for us. Ooh. I mean, so I guess your family is financially stable enough to afford bodyguards, plural. Huh. Oh, I haven't told you about my brother, have I? He's super awesome, for one. Agreed. And he was in both of the last two nonary games, too. So anyway, we'd been grabbed twice, but the people behind the two nonary games were totally different. That didn't matter to my mom, though, so after all these huge men in black suits followed me and my brother, I did not read that correctly. That didn't matter to my mom, though, so after that all... should it be after all that, instead of that all? So after all that, these huge men in black suits followed me and my brother everywhere. I guess it makes sense either way. It was awful. We were always being watched. People would look at us funny because we were being followed around by a bunch of creepy-looking guys. I couldn't stand it. Just when I thought I'd finally be free, all that was waiting for me was another kind of prison. The only time I was really happy was when I was hanging out with my brother. So we were talking it over one day, and we decided to leave. Like, run away. So we did it. After that, we lived on our own. What is this? A harp? Huh. I worked in a cafe, and he composed music. He plays the harp, and he started writing this kind of new agey music. It got kind of popular, so we didn't have to worry too much about surviving. Sometimes he'd play at little venues like coffee houses and stuff, and his fans would show up and listen to him play and cry. Or some of them would meet on their own and recite stuff from the book he'd written, and play his songs. I know that sounds kind of like weird and culty, but they just do that sort of stuff on their own, okay? My brother doesn't have anything to do with it. Anyway, we did that for a while, and then one day Alice showed up. I need your help, she told us. We need people who can do what you can do. We need people who can do what you can do. Now, what does she mean by that? Does she mean survive a nonary game? Or does she mean the morphogenetic field stuff? So we went to the locations he gave us, and it turned out to be the headquarters of the SOIS, where they'd taken us after the secondary nonary game. They put us in a room with about a dozen or so other people who were all about the same age as us. A bunch of them looked familiar, too. It only took a moment to realize how we knew each other. They were the kids from the first nonary game. We were all excited to see each other again. We were hugging and shaking hands and stuff. And then Alice walked in. The whole room went quiet. She walked up to the podium and looked around the room, making eye contact with each and one of us. Right now, a terrorist organization is preparing for a major attack. They plan to trigger a viral pandemic. If they succeed, they will strike a massive blow against all of humanity, not just any one country. It's possible that we, as a species, will die out completely. We are doing our best to prevent this, but we need your help. You are what we call espers. You have the ability to access the morphogenetic field. We need that. I'm guessing you don't know what any of that is, but basically we can do this thing that's kind of like telepathy. Just dropping that on Sigma, you know? Yeah, you know, there's telepathy exists and is real and the government is using it. Don't worry about that part. I mean, it isn't really telepathy, but that's probably the closest thing, okay? Espers can resonate their consciousness with another person through this thing called the morphogenetic field. The purpose of the first nonary game was to research that ability. Yeah, and the crazy thing is it's not just resonating with another person in another location. It can also be done through time, which is the craziest part, I think. So they kidnapped kids who had the potential to do it and threw them into the game. Alice had gathered up all the kids from that experiment. Well, I mean, it had been 9 years since it happened, so we weren't really kids anymore. Anyway, everybody she'd brought in was an Esper. That included me and my brother, of course. I bet you think I'm making all this stuff up, huh? I don't blame you. It is pretty crazy. I mean, I was even starting to forget I could do that stuff. So, when I heard Alice's story, I was like, screw that. I was trying to move on with my life, and now some shady government creeps wanted me to use some weird ability I had for them? No way. I wasn't even sure I could do it anymore. Some of the others felt differently, though, and they told Alice they'd do it. It was a job, after all, and most people wouldn't turn down a salary like that. Oh, right. I forgot to tell you. She told us how much they'd pay us if we helped. It was a lot. More wealth than you could imagine. But I was still totally against doing it. My brother told me he'd go along with whatever I decided, so I decided we were leaving. That's kind of interesting. A couple days passed, and then Alice showed up at our apartment. She didn't waste time. The people behind the first nonary game might have been part of the terrorist organization Alice and the SOIS were after. Huh. Really? Okay. Wasn't that, she asked, something that I might want to know more about? That got me curious. My brother, too. But the clincher was what Seven said to us. Seven! He's back. He was one of the guys that got abducted with us for the second nonary game. She called him on her phone right then and there, and handed it to us. You guys are the only people who can do this. We don't know where Junpei is. What? He's gone off to travel the world looking for Akane. I haven't been able to get a hold of him. Please, just do me a favor and help Alice out. Junpei equals like 7, another participant from the second nonary game. Akane equals one of the people behind the second nonary game. 7 was a Japanese policeman, which was probably how Alice got in touch with him. Anyway, that did it. My brother and I agreed to join the SOIS. For the next couple months, all we did was train. Half of the time, it was general knowledge and technical skills an SOIS agent needed, and the other half was learning to strengthen our Esper abilities. They had actually known about Espers for quite a while, and had a lot of techniques that helped us get better and stronger. After several months of hard work, we were finally ready for our first field missions. Mine was an infiltration. My brother stayed at the base so I could relay information back through to him. I was supposed to sneak into a research facility posing as one of their workers, and then use the morphogenetic field to transmit what I found back to my brother. But everything went wrong. It was a trap. The whole research facility was fake, and I got captured. What? Okay, that's quite something. Alice had to come and rescue me. I'd been sending information about the inside of the facility to my brother, and Alice used that information to come and find me. As soon as she got there, she picked me up and carried me out. I was relieved and happy to be alive and free, but I also felt ashamed and miserable. While she was carrying me back out, I started to cry. She was just so cool, and I wasn't. I wanted to be just like her. So, from that day onward, I did everything I could to be more like Alice. Our infiltration ended in failure, but we did manage to get something useful. In fact, we were able to figure out where their headquarters was. The directors decided that on December 25th, 2028, would be the day we would strike. Of course it is. This time, I promised myself, we wouldn't screw it up. I was finally going to get some answers about something that had been with me for my whole life. Most of my life, excuse me. But then, on December 22nd, 3 days before the raid, Alice and I were attacked by people in gas masks while we were going over our plans. Do you know what the most disappointing thing about that whole story is to me? Really, I'm a bit shocked. I'm disappointed. I'm horrified even. I'll go that far. I am appalled that the game seems to be suggesting that Alice may not be the mummy. I mean that's crossing a line here, game. I want Alice to be a millennia-old mummy that was frozen by Ice 9 and then was reawoken in the modern world. I don't want her to be some random government agent. Now, if it turns out that she is still an ancient Egyptian mummy who just decided to work for the government, okay, that's something else. But, I mean, we had that whole thing. She mentioned her father before, but I think that could have just been a cover story she had. But apparently, if she had a history before, you know, this whole nonary game business, then I don't know. Look, I don't care how ridiculous the concept is. I want there to be a character in this game that is an ancient Egyptian mummy. That's all I want. That's going to be a make or break thing for me, I think. Okay, let's continue. And when you woke up, you were in the warehouse.
Yeah.
All that talking seems to have tired Clover out. She sighed, and her long hair swayed as she moved. Hey, I've still got a few questions. Like, was this outfit part of the plan? What was the raid gonna look like exactly?
What are they?
Well, first off, your, powers, I guess? I'm guessing you can't use them right now.
Yeah. I'm not really sure why. I've been sending my brother messages ever since I woke up, but...
No response?
Yeah. If there was another Esper here, they could make me stronger. But that's just wishful thinking. Wait. Well, if there's someone else who's stronger than me, then they kind of absorb my powers.
Okay, we're getting new rules here.
Maybe... No, never mind. That's probably not it.
Okay, so new morphogenetic rule here. There are apparently espers that are stronger than others. I mean, presumably Akane is a pretty dang strong esper, right? I mean, she was able to reach forward in time for her abilities, so I would imagine she's pretty dang strong, right? But anyway, the point is, apparently stronger espers absorb the power? But I thought she just said, hang on. If there's someone else who's stronger than me, they kind of absorb my powers. If there was another esper here, they could make me stronger? So is that... These statements seem kind of a bit weird next to each other, but maybe she's saying she would be the stronger esper, is what she's saying. And so if there was another weaker esper here, she would be stronger, and then, yeah, at least I think that's what these statements mean. Right, whatever. I have some other questions, so moving on. I think I understand what Alice was talking about now. They were trying to spread that virus, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so who are they?
Well...
Is it Dio's group?
I can't tell you that.
What? Clover. You just told me all that. You can't tell me this? What? Why not? You told me all that other stuff, but this is too much?
Well, Alice would be mad at me.
I feel like she's already gonna be mad at you. I already told you I wouldn't tell her.
But...
Fine. Let me rephrase. When are they going to do it?
Well, if we knew that, we wouldn't have gone to all that trouble.
So you don't know.
No, all we know is soon.
But that could mean just about anything.
Yeah, it could be next week or next month or even next year. Or it could have happened already.
Wait. You mean they might have already released the virus?
Wouldn't that make the most sense? Like, how about this room? Or that newspaper article? And the 3 people who were put in cold sleep.
Are you saying you, me, and Dallas were frozen, and the pandemic happened while we were on ice? Why are you assuming these 3? Wait. No, that doesn't make sense. Nobody else has heard of Radical 6 either.
Maybe they're lying.
Really? All 6 of them?
Well, if Kay really does have memory loss, then it's only 5. Quark is out too.
So, you're saying Tenmyoji, Dio, Phi, and Luna are all lying? Huh. I guess they are a little suspicious.
Right?
And what's their motive?
For lying? How would I know?
Then what's the motive for a terrorist organization to start a pandemic?
I heard it was something about purifying the unclean?
Uh-huh. So, yeah, that's sounding a lot more like Dio's group here. Purifying the unclean.
Oh, unclean, 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 unclean.
What? What are you doing?
Shut up! Just hold on a minute. I'm this close to remembering. Unclean, clean, een.
She leapt up, suddenly excited.
Neostigmine!
Neo what?
Did you forget it already? I'm talking about this stuff.
As she spoke, she pulled something out of her pocket. It was the injection gun, complete with a vial of medication. Oh, right. I remember that. It was in the safe in the treatment center, right?
Yeah!
I didn't have any idea what it was, though, so I gave it to you.
Exactly!
Are you saying you've heard about this neostigmine stuff before?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just remembered.
You remembered?
My brother told me about that. Neostigmine is a type of colon esterase inhibitor.
Okay. In layman, please. Layman's terms.
That means it's a sort of antidote for tubocurarine.
Say what in the what now? Sorry, but I still don't... she just said... That's the stuff in the bracelet, right?
How easy do I have to make it?
Very easy, please. Yes, please and thank you.
Ugh. Okay, fine. I'll start at the top, all right? The stuff I've got in here is neostigmine, which counteracts the muscle relaxant tubocurarine.
And it is the tubocurarine muscle relaxant combined with the other stuff that makes you go to sleep that kills you.
Following me?
Tubocurarine is the poison in our bracelets, right?
Right. It's the second thing we get injected with if we're penalized.
First, is the Soberil, which
Soberil,
puts you
yes.
to sleep. 9 minutes later, the tubocurarine is injected, numbing your respiratory muscles. I guess you could say it'll really take your breath away.
By God. That's incredible. So, I don't know how much stuff for that we have in that stun gun. Is it just one shot? That means someone... I mean, I'm not sure exactly what scenario we're... Oh, wait a sec. This scenario right here. This one. Yeah. So you're saying this neostigmine keeps it from working?
Yes! Oh my god, how many times are you going to make me say it?
Hey, Clover, it's good to get this absolutely clear, all right? So we can just inject ourselves with this if we get penalized.
Yeah, we don't have to die. We're gonna be okay. We can only pull the trigger once, though.
Yeah, that's the caveat. That means we can only use it on one person.
Yeah.
Well, it's still good news. This means one of us can break the rules once. You could even do something crazy, like someone walks out of the door, like number 9 door with someone else. I mean, I'm not sure why or when we would do that, but it's just, I'm starting to think of, different potential uses here. Like, let's see.
The best way to use it would be for sneaking through the
Hey.
number 9 door.
That's what I just said.
If somebody gets 9 points, they can open it, right? With this stuff, somebody who doesn't have 9 points could still leave with them.
Huh.
Anyway, I'm gonna go tell Alice.
What? Hey, Clover, wait. Clover. It was too late. Clover was already on the lift and gone. Damn. I was, I think understandably, upset. With no stairs, my only choice was to wait for the lift to come back down. As soon as it was back, I jumped on and headed upstairs. Fi, where did Clover go? Fi, hey, can you hear me? She didn't say anything, just stared at me with her mouth half open. Her eyes seemed slightly glazed, and her body seemed, or was, unnaturally stiff. Fi? I grabbed her shoulder and shook her gently. Slowly she raised an arm, fingers drooping limply from it. She gestured toward the exit that led away from the warehouse. That way? She went out that door. Fi's only answer was a slow, shallow nod. Right, got it. Thanks. Really? Sigma, you're just gonna leave Fi in that condition? That seems strange. I headed for the exit, then paused. You look pretty tired. Get some rest, alright? Really? That's all we're doing? She doesn't say anything, and you're cool with just leaving it be? Still no response. There was something odd about her, but catching Clover seemed like much more of a priority. Oh, come on. I turned back and jogged out of the door, toward the treatment center. So does she get Radical Sixed? How does that work? We've never seen her get Radical Six before. That just seems very crazy to me. Why would we just leave Fi there? I get it. Well, I don't get it. Why are we running after Clover again? Huh? This is weird. Where is everybody? I'd assumed Alice would be in the treatment center, so Clover would have gone there to find her, but the room was empty. Luna and Tenmyoji were gone too. They had left Quark, and the readout on his pod said his vital signs were still normal. As far as I could tell, he was still asleep. Fine. Guess it's time to go look somewhere else. I made my way out of the treatment center. No one in the pantry. Man, how long did that elevator take? What the hell? What is going on here? I can't find anybody. Every single room is empty. Wait, there's still one place I haven't checked. The infirmary. I would be freaking out. I would just be in panic mode. What in the world are we gonna see here? Uh-oh. I ran into the room and stopped short. I might as well have run into a brick wall. My chest tightened so much I could barely breathe. No. What happened? I felt my whole body convulse. Whether from terror or nausea, I couldn't tell. My legs went limp and I crumpled to the floor. Something sticky pressed against the palm of my hand, and I looked down to see blood. A vast, warm pool of fresh blood stretching out across the room, lapping at my legs and hands. Why? This can't be real. How could... What? Fi's here too? What? Like, I'm horrified, utterly horrified, but at the same time, what's the timeline for this situation here? Clover went up the elevator first. We followed. We saw Fi, left Fi there, and then what? How long did it take us to get here? Did someone find Fi? Did Fi go here herself? What? Oh my goodness. Where's Quark and Kay? In the middle of the lake of blood, there was an island of flesh. Oh, like an island of flesh were bodies. They were a bloody tangle of lifeless limbs and dead eyes, with too much blood and chaos for me to tell who was who. And where's the old lady? Had they sliced themselves open? Or stabbed one another? I couldn't tell. All the blood. Too much blood. Whatever they'd done, it was clear what tool they'd used to do it. A scalpel lay in blood next to them, its handle and the blade streaked with gore. This was how they died. This tiny blade. Oh God. This is it. It's all over. This is how it ends. That's right. I have to end it. This nightmare will finally be over. Time to wake up. My fingers scraped across the floor as I picked up the scalpel. I lifted it slowly, carefully to my neck, as if someone were guiding my hand with theirs, and drew it across my throat. Wow. Suddenly, a horror game. Okay. Whew. Wow. Okay. Kay, Quark, and Old Lady were not seen at the end there, so presumably this is the Everyone Got Radical 6 ending, which is a first for us, I think. Oh boy. And this isn't a bad end. This is just an end. goodness. Okay. Clover end. Wow. Quite a bummer for Clover. Wow. Man, I thought we were gonna like knock these two branches out. And I was actually kind of worried that we'd just do these two things and then I'd have to decide on whether I wanted to stop early or start one of these chapters here. But I guess not. How long have I been recording? Yeah, I'm hitting the hour mark. My goodness. Well, how about that? Okay. This is probably a bad end then, right? All right, next time we'll probably finish off this bad end here and then probably begin one of the locked routes, or unlocked routes, I should say. Well, that was quite a lot. Yeah, I need to sit back and think about all the things that were said here. We got Clover's whole backstory here, and then we got Radical Sixth. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. It just happened. Alrighty. I've been The Worm. This has been VLR. I hope you're all doing okay. And I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.